Hi Beauty Fam, welcome back to MikiCarrBeauty. Today I have two items from the Addiction Tokyo Holiday 2024 collection. I picked up one of the eyeshadow quads and then one of the lip products from their holiday through the glass collection. If you're interested in seeing how I came up with this look and this beautiful shade of berry on my lips, then keep watching. Remember to subscribe, comment, and like below. Helps out engagement on my channel. And with that out of the way, Beauty Fam, let's begin and talking about this makeup look and this collection. Okay, Beauty Fam, it's been a while. I have actually not filmed in quite a while with the election results and all the things and busy with work. I, just like many of us, had just had to take a break, a wellness break, and I just been taking care of myself, my family, kind of getting myself together and my thoughts together. It's been about a week and a half is like the first time I've actually started filming because pretty much, to be honest, I didn't feel like filming. So, and I think maybe a lot of you feel the same way. So here we are for the makeup. It is Sunday and I really don't feel like fixing my hair. So it is in a top knot and that's the best it's gonna get. I at least put some makeup on my face with this review. So why don't we talk about the makeup here? Actually, if you're interested in the sweater, I'll have details below. Someone asked me about these earrings before. I got these from my sister for my birthday and I don't know where she got them. She lives in Michigan and I can ask her, but I think she tends to also support small business owners and small jewelry makers. If I find the artist, I will try to tag it below, but these are supposed to be like rain. So I live here in the Northwest in the Seattle area and we get lots of rain. So she thought of these earrings, but these are also very like quintessential me. I love kind of like big chunky earrings when I can wear these. And this is very much like a me style. Let's talk about the Addiction Tokyo Holiday 2024 release. So as some of you might know, Addiction Tokyo is a Japanese brand. I do feature Japanese makeup on my luxury beauty makeup channel. Primarily I feature SUQQU and then also SURRAT. SURRAT, although is a New York City US based company, most if not all of their products are sourced and created in Japan. So it's Japanese technology and kind of technology and R&D with kind of like a New York / Japan aesthetic. I love SURRAT. So recently Addiction Tokyo, this past year, I want to say year and a half, they ended up having a stateside presence. So you can buy Addiction Tokyo, their products, through a US website. Unlike SUQQU, which you have to go through a UK website. They're a Japanese brand. You can get them in Japan or Asia. But with SUQQU, you can only get them in specific retailers like Selfridges, Harrods, or Liberty London. So the good thing about this is that you can now try Japanese makeup in the US, which wasn't something you can necessarily do without paying kind of like a huge, I'm not going to say markup, but you'd have to pay for minimum amount to buy in order for free shipping for things like Selfridges to try SUQQU. So Addiction Tokyo, you get it US side. So if you want to try Japanese makeup, I would highly suggest you go with Addiction Tokyo. It is luxury beauty, so the prices are probably around like Sephora plus, so those higher prices. This past year I ended up picking up the Addiction Tokyo 15th anniversary eyeshadow palette, Lock the Best Moments, and this sold out really quickly. So I don't want to flash you, but it's reflective. I love their packaging. I think it's so sleek, and that's what Japanese beauty and like if you've been to Japan, like they're really into representation and packaging. So this is the 15th anniversary palette. It's currently sold out. You might be able to find it third party, but look how beautiful that is. I don't want to do it like this because it totally just washes out the colors. And so this is what this palette looks like. I love it. This is probably my favorite palette from this summer. Once I got it, I pretty much use this almost like every day. I have some beauty friends who know more much about Addiction Tokyo than me, and they said that actually if I liked this palette that I should try their other formula because a lot of people were saying this wasn't as good as other ones they've had. And now that I've tried the holiday palette, I understand what they're talking about. So the mattes on here are fantastic. I think they're on par with like NARS, or I would say maybe like Viseart. They're pretty pigmented. The shimmers are so pretty. Let me just get this one. These shimmers, they are just really wonderful. They're like toppers without the fallout. They don't swatch very well, but on my eyes, this was something I just used all summer. And so before that, I even got the, I can't remember what release this was, but this was Out of Your Shell collection. Beautiful packaging. It's kind of like a seashell. It has like a mother of pearl kind of sheen. It's a duochrome on there. And I ended up getting this palette. So wonderful. So what's interesting is that this has some shimmers, like this is a shimmer topper, but the other ones were a little bit, I think the formula is more like this one, like in this packet, in this collection. What I enjoy about Addiction Tokyo is that they have really fun colors. I honestly am quite bored with releases from makeup on the US side, and I just find the colors, the tones of Japanese beauty just much more exciting than what's coming out on the US and European makeup products. I'm just being honest. Like between SUQQU and Addiction Tokyo, those have been my favorite releases this entire year, just because their color stories are just more fun. I do like the Chanel release, the holiday one, that a lot of people didn't like, but I love it because, again, there were bright colors. So let's talk about the Addiction Tokyo Holiday 2024, and I'm looking at my phone, so I'm going to move over here because I'm going to put some of the products on this side. So introducing the Holiday 2024 Through the Glass collection, and it draws inspiration from intimate candlelit dinners with loved ones where antique glassware glows in the flickering flames. Through the Glass collection, it says, be romantic with an otherworldly glow thanks to shimmering shades and glossy top coats. And I ended up only getting 2 of items from this collection because I wanted to try them first. I was taking a risk. I don't think they're going to sell out, but we'll see. There are 2 eyeshadow quads. The first one is a lighter one. It's called Tinted Glass 101, and it's this one here. A rich, deep palette inspired by vintage glassware. So to me, this was pretty light. I wasn't sure if it was going to show up on me, so I decided not to get that one. So I ended up getting the deeper one, Antique Glass, which is this one, 102. And that is the one right here. And it says it's a cool toned color palette that evokes the appearance of candle light dancing across glass. I like the inspiration. I can see that what they're talking about. Okay, and then I ended up getting one of the lip serum tints, and these are limited edition, although the products of the lip serums they have in their regular line, but these 2 shades that they have are limited edition. So I ended up getting Tipsy Berry 101, which is this shade here, and this is the promo pic here and the swatch. So Tipsy Berry, it says, is a deep berry shade. Love it, and I love my berries. And then the other shade is Amaretto 102, a reddish brown with gold flecks. And I think because they had gold flecks in it, I kind of defaulted not getting it. I have a lot of reddish browns in my collection from SUQQU, but I also wanted to try this lip serum tint formula with just one product before I kind of went overboard. So I tend to not like shimmer or gold flecks in my lip products, because when the product dries down, then I'm just left with shimmer or glitter particles on my lips, and I just don't care for that. And then there were 5 other products. The Through the Glass Sparkle Mascara. And again, something I'm noticing with Japan, that having sparkly bits on the mascara is like a trend, and I'm not into that just because I don't want like glitter in my contacts in my eyes. So it's kind of the same reason. I just don't like errant glitter falling over my face anywhere. Like, it has to stay put. The other limited edition product is Through the Glass Cream Cheek Tint, and it's very interesting. It's black, but it's a cream, and I tend to not really like cream products. I'll usually make exceptions for people like to try them, like DANESSA MYRICKS has a cream blush, and then Katie Jane Hughes' brand, KJH brand, came out with a cream stick powder and lip product, which I tried because those are smaller businesses and I want to support those makeup artists, and they're supposed to be innovative. So I want to try the new stuff. This I just wasn't really into, so decided not to get that. And then they have a Through the Glass eye gloss. Not into eyeglasses. I have hooded lids, so I don't want anything moving on my eyes. And then they had a lip oil tint, gold, which was pretty, but really not into having gold on my lips. And then a liquid eyeshadow ultra sparkle. I thought about getting it, but again, one thing I learned this past year as I'm decluttering is that I'm not going to buy any more cream cheek products unless it's a new like innovation or a small brand that I want to support. And I'm putting a kibosh on liquid eyeshadows because they tend to go bad faster because it's liquid, like a 6-month shelf life. And I think I bought almost every Lisa Eldridge liquid eyeshadow. So I need to finish those up, and the shelf life of that is soon approaching. So I always think about, before I buy, what do I have of my collection that I haven't used up, and what is the shelf life? Even if I'm testing it for you on my channel, I am being very, very strict for me on what I'm buying, because I just can't sustain having this much makeup in my collection anymore. As I look in my drawer here, I'm actually going through a massive declutter now of my makeup, and it's taking me a while just because I have so much makeup, and it's really making me realize like I just need to slow down in purchasing, and probably next year we're going to even probably see me slow down on purchasing even more, and we'll see from there. I might just do like shopping my stash videos just to help me, encourage me not to buy anymore. So out of that collection, I only got 2 products. So why don't we do this? I'm going to show you a reel of the swatches when I open it, unboxing and swatches of the product when I receive this in the mail.
So I'm starting the look with this green shade, and it's a grungy green, and I thought I'd use this as the crease shade and smoking it out. What I'm finding with this quad is that even with one shade, there's multiple dimensions. So as I'm buffing out the crease, I can see there's almost like a brown undertone to this green shade, which is really beautiful. And then now I'm going to go in with a rougher, a flat brush, I think it's number 2, and using that to build up the purple violet shade. It's so pretty. The thing about these shades is that I'm finding they're very creamy. They're creamier than the other 2 prior Addiction Tokyo quads that I have. And then I flip the brush, the number 2 rougher, and then I'm going into the shade that's a bit like an orange gold shade. It's not as bright as I thought. It's more of like a muted pumpkin shade, and it's very fall-like. And then I'm taking a pencil brush. It's a Sonia G, and it has a thin edge, so I can use that for a liner. And I want to see what the fuchsia can look like as a liner. It's not too pigmented, but it adds a little bit of dimension, a bit of smoke. And then I'm going into the deepest shade, which is the brown shade. It's kind of a neutral brown, and it does have a little bit of shimmer flecks of gold, flicks of glitter, but not anything that has fallout. So I'm just using that brown shade to deepen the outer V and then use as liner. And I'm realizing any of these shades could be beautiful one and dones. And then we're going in with a second look on the other eye, and I just want to see what happens if I use the violet purple as a one and done shade. These are such great quality shadows. It really does remind me of the Tom Ford cream shadow formula. But it's not a matte, there's actually a sheen of shimmer in there as well. And the same thing with this shade, I'm finding as I blend it out, there's almost an undertone in there that makes it beautiful as a one and done. And then to deepen the outer V, I'm just going into that brown shade. And I really wanted to see what it looked like if I just use, first of all, the one and done, and I could be that. And then if I wanted to smoke it out with 2 shadows, then I use the brown just to deepen up the outer V. And I'm using a Wayne Goss brush. And I could stop there if I wanted, but I'm still building up the outer V. And then taking a flat edge brush into that green shade. And this time, instead of the violet I used on the other eye, I'm using the green shade because I want to see how it looks as a liner. And that's something I like to do with colored shadows, use them as under kind of like liners for my lower lid. This is a very grungy palette. It's very beautiful, and in real life the colors do pop more than on the camera. And that is the final eye look. I did mascara and liner. And then getting in close so you can see. And here's the final look with makeup on. And then initially when I started, I had 1 layer of the serum lip tint, and it did last quite a bit. It was about 2.5 hours, 2 to 2.5 hours. And now I finished the look and I want to add on, like this is the second layer, and now we're going into a 3rd layer of the serum tint. And I just want to see how buildable the product is. And even with the buildable of the 3, it doesn't even feel heavy at all. It is beautiful and pigmented and a very thin formula. And no tingling, which I enjoy, and no smell out of any of these products. I'm really thankful there's no fragrance in Addiction Tokyo. And it's a very unique formula. I've never tried a formula like this. It's so thin, it almost feels like a gel lotion, but very thin. I'm very happy with these products. And then finishing up the look with the Addiction Tokyo Blush Pearl Foggy Rose. I do have two of these formulas with a pearl finish, and they're so beautiful. I don't even have to use any highlighter when I use this pearl formula. And this has to be my favorite blush find of the year. These have been around for quite a while. It's just new to me and maybe new to us in the US because Addiction Tokyo just went online to be sold in the United States in the past 18 months. So although this product has been around in the Asian market, it's new to me because I didn't have access to these products before. And I have a lot of makeup, and I have to really share that these two blushes I have of the Pearl blushes from Addiction Tokyo are definitely on my top shelf. These are ones I reach for very often just because they're pigmented enough, beautiful quality, they last, and it just adds a healthy glow without adding texture.
Okay, so we're back after doing the makeup. Here is the final look, and I think it's beautiful. My skin is looking really good today, which is so funny because I actually broke out in acne earlier this week because I had been eating out and not picking the best, healthiest food for myself. And that's what happens. I get a lot of chin acne when I eat too much fatty meat, and that's what happens. So what makes my face so glowy today is that my skincare routine, as always, I'm always going to say that, but this is my OG favorite foundation, and this is the SUQQU cream foundation. It's the original one, and actually they don't make it anymore, and this is shade Ochre 040, and I just love it. It's my favorite like cream foundation, especially in the winter when it's getting cold out and dry. It just nourishes my skin and gives me the most beautiful glow. I have to say that I really enjoy this color story. This formula is even creamier than this release, which is Out of Your Shell. This was like kind of a bit more dry. These top two were the shimmer shades, and I could see why they were dry, but these were just like, okay, these weren't like particularly creamy or pigmented other than this purple one. And let me kind of they like their purples here. This is why I'm so attracted to this brand. They do some really fun colors. And so that's the purple, whoops, this is that purple fuchsia, so it's a little bit different. I just want to swatch that next to it so you can kind of compare. And the other one's more of like a reddish plum, and this is more of a traditional purple down here. So it's creamy still, but not as creamy as this holiday release, which I think is so beautiful. And I love smoky, grungy colors. I just love these rich, grungy colors. And some people might not like these because they think they're similar, but this is what I would say is that, you know, I'm doing a first impressions on the eye makeup look, but I've been using this lip tint for a while. I could see myself just using this as a one and done. Any of these could be a one and done. And this next week, what I'm going to do is actually just use these as one and dones, or just one and two. So I could see myself using these two by themselves, or just these two by itself. These are totally me colors where I could definitely use one or two and then be done. For the purposes of the review, I ended up putting most of it on my eyes just to show you, but these are beautiful. The formula is very creamy. I'm not going to say it's like a cream to powder, but it almost does remind me of a cream to powder. And just even like swatching it now, I can just feel the emolliency. It reminds me almost a little bit like the Tom Ford cream formula. I almost feel like there's some oil in this formula. So I'm comparing this size quad to the Tom Ford quads, which everyone usually knows. I think they're a little bit smaller, but this honeymoon quad, which started it all with the warm tones, reminds me of this, but it's a little different. This is more warm tone. This is a cool tone, Addiction Tokyo. It's definitely smaller. And let's see, what does it say? These are made in Italy, the Tom Ford, as opposed to Addiction Tokyo, made in Tokyo, Japan. And interestingly enough, even though the pans are bigger and the quad, that the packaging that it's in is bigger for Tom Ford, On the back, it's both says these are 6 grams of product. So actually it's the same amount of products, just different packaging. It looks like a bigger pan. Maybe they're deeper and these are more shallow, who knows? But either way, on the back it says it's 6 grams. So I just wanted to show you this because this quad did remind me of Honeymoon, but you can see it's a lot different. Honeymoon is a different formula altogether. It's that cream, it's like a wet dry formula. And this is still one of my favorite formulas. I actually wore this last night on a date. And let me pull this down so I can swatch that for you. Okay, that's Honeymoon at the bottom, and that's Addiction Tokyo on top. Definitely a different vibe, but it's so pretty. I mean, this is still one of my favorites. Like, okay, let's move to the lip tint serum. I actually took a break for a second to get some water and a snack, and it stayed on. It's an interesting formula. I don't think I've tried a formula like this before. I thought it might be like the SUQQU wrapping lip tint treatment wrap, but that is more like a gloss. This is actually behaving more like a serum, like a tint. It's very thin and cooling, and thank goodness it doesn't have that. Sometimes what serums or glosses like to do, they like to have like a minty feeling to it, but there's definitely some cooling mechanism on here. It almost feels like water, if I were best to describe it, but these are pigmented. So this is like a sheer application of the serum tint, and this is the berry color here. I'm so glad I waited for this, but you can build it up. You can see how that builds it up. And then you can keep building it up, which I think is so interesting about this product. And it stays glossy. So I've had, actually when I started doing the demo, I actually had a very thin one layer just to see. And I had that on since 2:30. I took my kiddo for lessons, and then we were gone for a good 2 hours. So when I started filming, that very thin layer of this tint was on for 2 hours and it was still there. So it almost like it doesn't even dry down. There's still like a emolliency that makes my lips look juicy and healthy. There's something special about this formula. I don't know what it is, and this is why I love trying Japanese products, is that they are doing different R&D over there than maybe over here. And I think this is such a beautiful formula. It doesn't even feel like lip balm or gloss. It almost feels like a very thin, not a balm, but like a moisturizing glaze. And it's very, very thin. It's probably like the thinnest lip product I've had on my lips. It almost feels like a lip tint, if you will, but not like a balm. But it doesn't, with lip tints, sometimes they dry down and they're not emollient anymore. This has stayed emollient for a good 2 hours, that one passing, and it stayed really, really, like, it stayed on, which is amazing. Okay, beauty fam, remember to subscribe, comment, and like below. And as always, please be very kind with yourself and others, and just be you. Take good care, beauty fam. Until the next video, bye.